Good morning, students. Once again, we are here to discuss some important concept from chemistry. So, today I have taken the topic from class 12th chemistry, from chapter 1, the solid state. So, today's my topic is amorphous and crystalline solids. So, dear students, solids can be classified into two categories. One is crystalline solid and the other one is amorphous. Now you will think that what is the difference between crystalline and amorphous solids? So just let's check. A crystalline solids usually consist of a large number of small crystals. Small crystals are present. We can say that in crystalline solid, the nature of order present in the arrangement of their constituent particles. Now what are these particles? These are the small crystals. And how these crystals are made up of? So obviously nothing else. These crystals contain atoms, ions or molecules. But only thing is that in crystal, these atoms, ions or molecules are arranged in definite geometrical pattern, or you can say that there is a definite characteristic geometrical shape. Okay, for example, like you can see that sugar particle. Have you seen that? Sugar particle is cubical in nature, right? So it is in the form of cube. So that's a geometrical shape. But in amorphous solid, in this solid also atoms, ions or molecules are present. Okay, either atoms, ions or molecules, right? But in amorphous solids, these atoms, ions or molecules are randomly arranged. Okay, there is a random arrangement. But in crystalline solid, these atoms, ions or molecules are arranged in a definite pattern. So this is actually the basic difference between crystalline solid and amorphous solid. So in crystalline compound, we can see the long range order. But in amorphous compound, no such order is present, or you can say that just a short range order. And this short range order does not repeats itself, while in a crystalline compound, long range order or short range order present. Okay, and then long range, short range order, we find that there is a repetition. So we can say that crystalline compound crystalline solids have long range order, which means that there is a regular pattern of arrangement of particles which repeats itself periodically over the entire crystals. So sodium chloride and quartz are such example. So sodium chloride, this is also one of the crystalline compound. Okay, quartz is also one of the crystalline compound. Now you can just see here, see arrangement. Okay, this is, here you can see the definite pattern, but you just see this figure. no definite pattern is there. Okay, we cannot see any kind of repetition here. So this is the two-dimensional structure of quartz glass, right? And this is the two-dimensional structure of quartz. So quartz, this is the crystalline compound, and quartz glass, this is not the crystalline compound, this is the amorphous solid. Okay, so in amorphous solid, no regular shape is present, while in crystalline compound or crystalline solid, we find the regular shape. So the arrangement of the constituent particles, once again I am repeating, constituent particles means atoms, molecules or ions. Got it? So in crystalline solids, long range order is present, while in amorphous solid, only short range order is present. Okay? So in such an arrangement, a regular and periodically repeating pattern is observed over short distances only. Clear? Or we can say that only short range is present. So such portions are scattered and in between the arrangement is distorted. Okay, for example, just like this circle you have seen. Okay, and like this, no repetition is there. Okay, this is the short range arrangement, and you can see that this is the distorted arrangement. Okay, just now I have shown you the structure of quartz glass. Okay, this is the disturbed arrangement, but in quartz this is the long range order. Okay, and you can see here that it is in a definite pattern. So now the structure of amorphous solid. Okay, structure of amorphous solid is similar to just that of liquids. Glass, rubber and plastic are typical examples of amorphous solids. So due to the differences in the arrangement of the constituent particles, the two types of solids differ in their properties. So we observe that different properties are there. So in a crystalline solids, we observe very important property, that is a sharp melting point. Crystalline solids have a sharp melting point. On the other hand, if we see the amorphous solids, so amorphous solids softens over a range of temperature and can be molded and blown into various shapes. So we can see that there is no such sharp melting point. You can see that it can be softened over a range of temperature and it can be molded and blown into various shapes. But one more thing is that in amorphous compound, sometimes they become crystalline at certain temperature. So that is the reason some glass objects from ancient civilization are found to become milky in appearance because of some crystallizations. So like liquids, amorphous solids have a tendency to flow, though very slowly. Okay, amorphous solids have tendency to flow. Amorphous solids can flow, but this flow is very slow. Very slowly they can flow. And therefore sometimes these amorphous solids are termed as pseudo-solids, or we also call them as super-cooled liquids. Okay. So you can see the glass panes fixed to windows or doors of old buildings are invariably found to be slightly thicker at the bottom than at the top. If you see the window pane, okay, just observe, you will find that they are slightly thicker at the bottom. Okay, why they are slightly thicker at the bottom? So this is only the reason because amorphous solid, as intimated earlier, that they can be softened over a range of temperature and they flow slowly. So that is the reason कि amorphous solid flow, and obviously they deposit at the bottom. So this bottom part, it becomes somewhat thicker, and this is because the glass flows down very slowly and makes the bottom portion slightly thicker. One more difference we can see in crystalline and amorphous compound, that is crystalline compound are anisotropic. Now what do you mean by anisotropic? So anisotropic in nature. So some of the physical properties like electrical resistance, okay, this is one of the property, electrical resistance or refractive index. These properties show different values. Now what is the reason behind this? Okay, why they show different values? So actually, and you know that they show different values when measured along different directions in the same crystal. So this arises from different arrangement of particles in different directions. Particles are arranged differently. As you can see here, particles are arranged, but when we view them from different directions, so different arrangement is present. So that is the reason the value of same physical property is found to be different along each directions. But in amorphous solids, on the other hand, no such long order is present. Okay, so arrangement is not regular. This is the irregular arrangement in amorphous compound. Got it? So that is the reason if we measure the value of like electrical resistance or refractive index from any direction, so we find that the value is more or less same. So this characteristic we call it isotropic. Okay, so anisotropic means some physical properties like electrical resistance or refractive index show different values when we view them from different directions or when we measured along different directions in the same crystal. But isotropic means that the value of electrical resistance or refractive index is more or less same when we view it or when we measure it from different directions. So anisotropy, this is the characteristic property of crystalline compound. Okay, and isotropic, this is the isotropic nature, this is the characteristic property of amorphous solids. So, till now, whatever we have discussed, on the basis of this, we can see that some basic differences between crystalline solids and amorphous solids. So, in crystalline solids, definite characteristic or definite geometrical shape is present, while in amorphous solid, irregular shape is present. Crystalline compounds, as suggested earlier, they have a sharp melting points and a characteristic temperature. Okay, sharp melting point is present. While the amorphous solids gradually softens over a range of temperature. Crystalline solids, when cut with a sharp edge tool, they split into two pieces and the newly generated surfaces are plain and smooth. While amorphous solid, when cut with a sharp edge tool, they cut into two pieces with irregular surfaces. Moreover, crystalline solids are anisotropic in nature and these are also known as the true solids, while the amorphous solids, isotropic in nature, they are termed as pseudo-solids or supercooled liquids. So, I hope so, dear students. Now the idea of amorphous and crystalline solids are clear to you. Thank you. We will meet again. Have a nice day.